is funny how 8 glasses of water a day seems nearly impossible to drink. But 8 glasses of wine can be done in one meal. And you know, they say that the secret of enjoying a good bottle of wine is step 1, open the bottle to allow it to breathe. And step 2, if it doesn't look like it's breathing, well, then you need to give it mouth to mouth. And lastly, an Irish wedding reception, the photographer yelled, "Would all the married men please stand next to the one person who had made your life worth living?" And the bartender was almost crushed to death. You see, wedding festivities in the Middle East typically lasted a week, and believe it or not, were called drink festivals. And rabbis say, where there is no wine, there is no joy. Well, in our gospel, stone water pots were typically for pouring on hands and vessels for purification, and was proof against defilement. Now, get this. The commentaries reveal the 6 pots spoken about in our gospel equated to some 153 gallons filled to the brim. That's a lot of joy. And the groom probably drank so much that night that when he walked across the dance floor to get another glass, he won a dance contest. So seriously though, you can't buy this kind of bulk at Costco. Our gospel reading today reveals much of the subject of joy, if not enhanced joy. You see, it was the 3rd day, which was most likely one wild and wacky Wednesday. What a hump day. Wednesdays were the usual day for the marriage of a maiden. And in this case, the bridegroom and bride are unknown. And most likely Mary was present as a relative, and by extension, Jesus and his disciples. It is believed at this point St. Joseph was deceased. Now, Mandy and I were married in December 26 years ago. And we chose December because the church would already be decorated. And we really didn't have the money for a wedding or to go on a honeymoon. But after opening the wedding gifts, we were fortunate enough to have a cool $300 in cash. So Gatlinburg, Tennessee became our honeymoon destination. You see, much like our own situation, wine supplies for the impoverished depended partly on gifts from those invited. Much like my own honeymoon, no monetary gifts equal no honeymoon. No wine equals no drink festival. Well, our gospel then tells us that Mother Mary petitions Jesus after noticing the short supply of wine. And Jesus gives a response that sounds rather harsh, if not belittling. However, it wouldn't be heard that way in the time of Jesus. In fact, it would have been honorific. The title woman is found all throughout the scriptures. But in a sense, Jesus' answer is a refusal, but it's not an absolute one. You see, his first public miracle was to inaugurate the divine program. His messianic mission was not to be tied to any kind of family event. His answer to her is an assertion of independence from his mother or any fleshly kinship. The words are similar spoken in the temple of Jesus when the family couldn't find him as a young boy. Didn't you know I had to be in my Father's house? You see, the hour fixed for his public manifestation had not come yet. However, Jesus surrenders to his mother's request like a good, obedient Jewish son, choosing the charitable course simply because his mother asked him. So remember, it's good to know his mom. Mary then leaves with confidence saying, do what he tells you. Do whatever he tells you. And I believe that's good advice for us here today. Do what he tells you. Now, this ends up being the first of Christ's many miracles and reveals to us a few things. It reveals the sanctity of marriage, God's approval of domestic joy, the power of the Blessed Virgin's intercession, and even the law of her mediation. However, it also suggests the thought that Christ's own nuptials with his church have begun. The water of the old dispensation is becoming the good wine of the new. And in it, we glean the future offering of the Eucharistic wine, which is to gladden the hearts of mankind. You see, Jesus made use of his gifts at the request of his mother. We may not have performed miracles at Sacred Heart, but it's possible. St. Paul reminds us in our second reading this evening that we all have gifts. They may be different, but it is in fact the same Spirit. You see, there are many ways of serving God. If you have been given faith, rejoice and practice it. If you have the gift of healing, practice it and bring comfort to those that are suffering. If you have been given the spirit of expressing wisdom, expressing knowledge, do it. For I tell you, if you keep quiet, the stones will cry out. You see, do all you can with what you can. And we should all remember to pray for discernment, the power to distinguish good inspiration from bad or pretended inspiration. Let us listen to the interior voice of the Holy Spirit, allowing the Spirit to reveal to us our hidden gifts so that they may be used for his holy glory. And in the words of the Holy Virgin Mary, do whatever he tells you. For when we do his bidding, the glory of Zion comes down. When we confess, returning to him like the Israelites coming home from captivity, God shall take delight in his bride, the church, giving her a new name by his own mouth. And since we have been grafted into the line of David, I dare say that the name given is none other than that of Christian.